Hi everyone, my name is Haley and I am going to be sharing an activity idea with you using the strategy from chapter 38, which is read, pair, share. This strategy is all about reinforcement for our English language learners, letting them practice with their peers. One of the strengths that I personally like about this strategy is that it allows the teacher to pair an English language learner with a friend who is a strong English speaker. This also allows learning to be done in a more relaxed environment and less stressful environment. There is also the added benefit of social interaction introduced through this activity, but it also offers the opportunity for verbal and social interactions while also reinforcing language acquisition and development. So I'm going to be adjusting this strategy to fit the grade and current lesson agenda of my CCT. I'm in a kindergarten classroom in Hillsborough County School District, and we are currently working on new letters every day. So I'm going to be doing an activity that's going to introduce today's letter and its sound and have the students pair and share about that letter. Good morning, class. Today we're going to be learning about a new letter. Yesterday's letter was the letter S. Does anybody know what letter comes after S? Yes, Melanie. You're right. T. Today's letter is T. Leo, can you tell me the sound that the letter T makes? Great job. T says T, T, T. So let's talk about some words that begin with the letter T. We have T, T, tiger. And here's Miss Haley's best attempt at a tiger. All right. What about, do we have anybody in this classroom that's name begins with a T? Yes, our friend Thomas. Thomas, so here's our friend Thomas. Can anybody think of another word that begins with T? Great job, the number 2. We say 2, we'll make 2 dots. All right, so there's some of our T words. Remember, T says T. What I would like for you to do now is to turn to your partner. You guys are going to take out your reading and writing notebook, and we're going to write down some things about T. I want you to work together and talk about today's letter, what sound it makes, and draw a picture of a word and label your picture that begins with the letter T. Work with your partner and then share what you drew. All right, you may begin. So the next activity that I'm going to do with this strategy is going to be reading a short story as a read aloud. At this point in the year with the kindergarten students, they might not be able to read full books on their own, so I will be doing the read aloud. And then instead of discussing what happened with the story with me as a class or individually, they will be able to do that together using the strategy of read, pair, share. So I will read the story, they will pair together, and then they're going to share what happened in the story. And with this, we will be using small cue cards that will have the words who, what, where, when, and why written on them, as well as little symbols. So if our ELL students need help, we will use symbols like a little person to signify who, or a little house to signify where. So this will allow them to use their cards to say, here's where our story happened, and when did our story happen. The end. Now that we've read our story, let's talk about what we read in our story. But let's not tell me about them. I want you to tell your partner about them. You're going to pull out your 5 W cards. What are our 5 W's? Who, what, where, when, why. So you are going to turn to your partner and pull out your card that says who. I need you to tell me who was your story about? Who were our main characters in our story? I want you to turn to your partner and talk about what? What was our story about? What happened in our story? Where? Turn to your partner and say, where? Where did the story take place? When did our story take place? Was it at night? Was it at day? Talk to your partner, find out when the story took place and why. Why did some of the things in the story happen? Why did Carla have to defend herself every day? Why did she have to make a new sandwich? And why did she make a new one at the end? Ask your partner these questions and let's talk about what happened in our story. All right, you may turn to your partner now. One of the great things about this strategy is that it will also help us with the content objective for this lesson, as well as the language objective. For example, students will be able to ask and answer questions about key details in a story. The students will be able to turn to their partner and ask each other the questions of who, what, where, when, why, and they will also be able to answer them with one another. And one of our language objectives would be to, physically tell one another what had happened and to give these answer responses, in which they will be able to do that together. Again, having reading and then pairing up and then sharing together. So I personally really like this strategy, and it would be one that I would use in my future classroom. Thank you so much, guys.